Let's talk about the amazing Trend Rider, and let's take a look at the 7 latest trends with the Trend Rider. And by the way, if you want to get the Trend Rider indicator, make sure to check the link in the description below. We have a special deal where you can get it for TradingView, MetaTrader 4 and even MetaTrader 5 now. So I've prepared 7 great trades and great case studies that will help you understand what the Trend Rider does and how it is doing it. And before that, what is the Trend Rider? Let's briefly discuss that. It is a momentum indicator that we built ourselves on Tradeciety. It is very good for riding trends. It is perfect for stay in trades longer. So if you have an issue with cutting trades too soon, the Trend Rider may help you with that. It's also a great way to trade with additional confidence, and it's ideal for combining with other strategies. So whether or whatever trading strategies you use on a regular basis, the Trend Rider can be added and help you improve your trading quality. So this is the first example, and this is here the Aussie yen, and we are looking mostly at the lower time frames these days. So what do we have here is that the market tried a rally here, then the rally faded, the market went into a downtrend with a very strong bearish impulse candles. You can see very strong shift here in the sentiment. And then afterwards, that's what I usually look for. After the market has turned around, very often you will see a temporary and a first consolidation. So after the market turned around, you have an initial move, then you have a consolidation, and the consolidation tells you a lot about what is happening and who is stronger, the bulls or the bears, the buyers and the sellers. And what is likely to happen is price going up or down or sideways. And when we see that, when we put this into context, so we have here strong bearish dip followed by not really a bullish consolidation, so a very weak consolidation. The market is not able to push higher at all. This shows us that there are probably a lot of sellers waiting, and all the buyers and all the buying interest is immediately absorbed by the sellers. So that's a really important market tell for us, that we are in a downtrend technically and the bulls are not able to turn it. And then we draw our trend line to define our consolidation. Really important that we always have some type of either a trend line, which can be diagonal, or a horizontal support and resistance, which you could probably also fit in here. And then we wait for the breakout, and we wait for the breakout to happen with the shift in the Trend Rider momentum study. And this is in the histogram here at the bottom. It shows us and it confirms a strong bearish trend. And if everything happens together, we have a secondary weak trend and an overall downtrend. We have a breakout out of a perfect structure, and then we have a great turning point here that also the momentum study confirms as bearish. Then you have everything going for you, and that is when the Trend Rider will help you find better trades. And you can see all the way through this downtrend the background color of the Trend Rider, and also the histogram, the momentum study gave you the red light, so to speak. So it always confirmed that you are in a downtrend. So if you have issues with holding on to winning trades, then the Trend Rider may also help you with that, with its various components. Here we have more examples of how to use the Trend Rider in different situations. Of course, you can use any other, you can add moving averages, you could use any other strategy to it. In the past, I did videos how to use the Trend Rider purely with price action. I made videos how to use it with Fibonacci's and many other tools. So make sure to check that out as well. And here we are having a weak secondary trend like in the first example. So the market is coming from a downtrend, then temporary pause, not very strong bullish interest here. And then the breakout happened with a momentum study signal as well. And you can see all the way during this downtrend, the market and the Trend Rider gave you here the bearish signal. And then after the market bottomed out, you can see the market now made higher lows, it made higher highs. And then what I often do is that after a turning point, I wait for the first consolidation. And I want to see a consolidation that can be described with a good horizontal level. So here we have a very nice resistance level, we have a very nice support level, The market is really pushing into the level, and then on the breakout I'm waiting for here the momentum study to turn green again, which did happen shortly after. You can see the market pull back, gave you a retest entry, and then made a higher move, and the higher move ended around here. The market drifted sideways until the background color of the trend rider changed. So here was probably then a good way to exit the trade, but at the same time we are seeing that the market established a resistance level in here. And in an uptrending market, when we have a good resistance level that is really well defined, we can wait for another breakout, and we can wait for a trend rider confirmation, and that happened exactly here. Just shortly afterwards the market broke out, the trend rider was turning green here on the breakout, and then you can see you have a second leg here on the way up. So always wait for consolidations and then wait for a confirmed breakout with a trend rider. Consolidations are a really great way to time your trades. So the market was in a bullish trend. It topped out with this huge high. Then it reversed to the downside. Nothing to trade here because there's not a pattern. But after this initial bearish sequence, the market went sideways. It never came close to the previous top, which tells us that it's probably more bearish than bullish, although we don't know that and we cannot predict anything based off of that. But we can see that the market shortly after entered a sideways phase, which is really important. Whenever you see a sideways phase and a consolidation that you can define with horizontal and diagonal support levels, trend lines, it tells you that you need to wait for a breakout. And most amateur traders will get somehow messed up, or they will mess up in this range and then screw up, realize losing trades, and then when the real breakout comes around, they can't make up for the losses. So once you see a nice consolidation, try to use horizontal and diagonal lines to define it, and then really wait for the market to break out. Wait for the breakout with the trend rider momentum study signal as well. You can see we had the breakout, we have the retest, and all the time the background color was red, the histogram was mostly red, and it all happened after the market really topped out. So the market was not bullish anymore. The bulls left the arena, so to speak, and then you just wait for the bears to come in, and a bearish move is usually confirmed then once you have a breakout out of the consolidation. Here, very great setup on the Canadian Swiss. The Canadian Swiss tried to get the uptrend started, so there was a downtrending period, very shallow, and then there was a bullish sequence. So actually there was just the initial push here of the bulls, and afterwards the bulls tried and tried again, but every time the bulls were cut short, every time the bulls tried to rally, it made a lower high and a lower high and a lower high and a lower high. And at the same time, you have a very well-defined trend line underneath the price action. When you connect the lows, you have a perfect trend line. You have lower highs, so you can very nicely describe this pattern. Of course, there was a chance that the market was going to break out to the top. And if it did, maybe there was a signal, maybe not. But what we are really waiting for is a bearish signal, because we can see already that although the bulls tried to get this trend started, they failed, and every time there was a new push, the bulls were weaker and weaker and weaker. So we wait for the breakout, we wait for the momentum study to turn red here, and then we can capture a very nice chunk here to the downside. Consolidation as a trend continuation, what does it mean? Very simple. Again, the market was in a sideways range here, then the market started a downtrend, broke out of this first consolidation, broke out, traded sideways once again, but didn't even come close to the previous highs. So a good bearish signal, or at least a good point. That means we are more bearish than bullish, because we're not even coming closer to the previous highs. We have a fake out here, very small candles, not really bullish convincingly. Then we have a lower bounce. After the strong bearish candle, the market tried to pull away, did not succeed, and then shortly afterwards we have the breakout. Together with the momentum study, we have everything going for us, and then the market sold off. Here we have a last example, great example on the US dollar Swissy. The downtrend was happening in here, and then afterwards the market had or entered a consolidation. We are able to define the trend line here, or the trend line helps us define the bottom, and here the last swing high of this downtrend helps us to define the resistance level, and the market keeps coming into the resistance level sooner and sooner. It is making higher lows compared to the bottom, which is already quite bullish. And then you can see we have strong bullish candles here that signal the breakout. The breakout happens with the momentum study, green color here, and then the market traded higher and higher and higher. And all of this started with a breakout with the trend rider. So when we recap this video, what is important is that you use the trend rider as additional confirmation, not as a standalone signal. Also, what is important is you look for very well-defined consolidations. So look for areas where you can really nicely use trend lines or horizontal lines to describe the price action that is happening. Then wait for a confirmed breakout. Make sure that it fits into the bigger picture. So are you trading a reversal? Are you trading a trend continuation? And then you can use the trend rider to really improve the way you look at charts and improve your setup quality. And again, make sure to check the link in the description below if you want to get the trend rider in your TradingView MetaTrader 4 or 5 as well.